A crash on Camino El Norte, not too far from Lone Mountain Road. You are taking a live look here at the site of the crash right now. Police telling us that a motorcyclist has died in this crash. They think the motorcyclist struck an SUV. So for now, Camino El Norte is closed in both directions while they investigate.
Also, another fatal crash that has roads closed at this hour, this one happening at the intersection of Lake Mead and Rampart. Metro tells us the crash involved two vehicles. One of the drivers was taken to the hospital where that driver passed away. No word yet on what caused this particular crash.
And another breaking news story here at 6. We've been monitoring throughout the day a shooting involving Metro police officers in the downtown Las Vegas area. It happened near Main Street and Fourmaster around lunchtime today. Metro police say officers were on patrol when they noticed two people in a fight. Now, one of the officers reportedly got out of the police car to break it up when one of those in the fight started to charge at the officer. Police say that person then reached into their pocket to grab what appeared to be a weapon.
Subject quickly closed distance on the officer as he was still charging at the officer and still possessing the item in his hand. The officer then retrieved his firearm, discharging his firearm, striking the suspect.
In the midst of all of this, the officer lost his footing. He fell, was taken to the hospital to be treated. The person shot was also taken to the hospital, we are told, with non-life-threatening injuries. And you at 6, the 8 News Now I-Team learning that hookah lounge shooting last month happened during a birthday party. Police say the shooting happened in a VIP section of the unlicensed business called Manny's Glow After Dark, not too far from Sahara and Maryland Parkway. Investigators say some attendees are known gang members. Multiple people pulled out guns during that argument and started shooting. And right now, 44-year-old Lee Wilson is the only person charged. She's accused of killing a man and injuring 12 others. Wilson was also shot. He has 82 prior arrests and is due in court next week.
A homicide investigation underway in a neighborhood near Pecos and Owens. According to Metro, officers called to the area where they found a 20-year-old man with a gunshot wound. They believe he was meeting with someone else when the two got into an argument leading to gunfire. The victim passed away at the hospital. Police are asking if you have any further details, please call Crime Stoppers. We now know who was shot during a murder-suicide. This happened at an apartment on Fremont Street over the weekend. Metro police say evidence shows a man shot 50-year-old Jennifer Lopez, then turned the gun on himself. The two were in a relationship.
It is video our 8 News Now I-Team showed you first, and now this daycare worker will avoid jail time after prosecutors say she broke a 2-year-old's leg. The I-Team, the only television crew that was in court.
And our David Charnes is here now with what that former worker's plea was to a judge. David.
And Kirsten and Denise, as part of a deal, Alicia Miller avoids jail time but must pay restitution, and she also must do community service. In court, she appeared extremely remorseful for her actions, but she didn't want to talk to us after.
She made statements in court at the sentencing with no further comment.
Are you happy with the sentencing, though, in terms of what the judge decided?
The negotiation was made with the state.
Alicia Miller's public defender speaking on her behalf as she leaves court. A judge giving the former daycare worker probation for mishandling a 2-year-old boy last spring, breaking his leg.
I'm so sorry, and I really apologize.
The 8 News Now I-Team's Vanessa Murphy first showed you this video of the incident. It happened here at Creme de la Creme on Durango near Sahara in the Southwest Valley. We don't see what unfolds behind that piece of furniture, but we do see the other children's reactions.
I am completely heartbroken. What I've done.
As part of a deal, Miller agreed to a charge of attempted child abuse.
Psychologically, was a feral, empty shell.
The child's mother, who asked not to be identified, said this was not an attempt, it happened.
He would pull his blanket over his head to hide from people and whine and cry if they came near him, even if he knew them.
The parents are also suing the daycare center for negligence and abuse. They say their son has PTSD and that the incident affected him both physically and mentally.
I want my son back. I want our lives back, but most of all, I do not want Miss Miller to ever have the chance to hurt another child.
A judge giving Miller probation, and if she completes her probation without any other issues, her charge will then be reduced to a gross misdemeanor. She told the judge she now has 2 jobs, neither involve working with children. I'm David Charnes, live local now.
A crash involving 3 motorcycles and an SUV leaves 2 men dead, and one of them has now been identified. It happened last night near Cheyenne and Civic Center in North Las Vegas. Police say 2 of the motorcyclists crossed into oncoming traffic, killing 53-year-old Parrish Jones. The identity of the other victim is unknown, and speed is believed to have been a factor.
Nice and mild weekend in the 70s, and we have that through some neighborhoods at this hour. Look at that, 70 right now for North Las Vegas, 73 for you in Nellis in the northeast part of the valley, 69 right now for Las Vegas and Henderson, 68 degrees. The other good part, those winds after some breezy winds earlier. Look at these, the winds now down to single digits, calm for you in the north part of the valley. So here are weather headlines. Our first 80-degree day of the year is happening this week. We'll show you when. Gusty on a few days as well. Could be on St. Patrick's Day. We're going to show you that. And there are also shower chances later this week in the 8-day forecast. We'll break it all down for you. All coming up in a few minutes in your Weather Now.
Thank you, Ted. A new chapter for the Mount Charleston Lodge started this morning. Crews began final demolition of the lodge, which was destroyed by fire last year. The Ellis family says it's been working on plans to rebuild a lodge that will honor the old one while serving the local communities. More announcements on the new lodge expected this spring.
And turning now to the war in Ukraine here at 6. U.S. officials say the Russian invasion is still largely stalled, making little progress over the weekend. In the meantime, Russia is stepping up air attacks on Ukrainian cities, causing a lot of civilian casualties.
Now, the U.S. is sending more weapons to Ukraine. The Biden administration authorizing another $200 million worth of military assistance. Much of that money will go toward anti-tank weapons and more ammunition for Ukrainian forces.
Now, this comes after the Russian President Vladimir Putin threatened to attack NATO weapons shipments to Ukraine, saying they would be legitimate targets. The Ukrainian military has made good use of U.S.-made weapons since that invasion started. Some military experts say it's one of the key reasons Ukraine has held out so long against Russia.
Uber combating rising gas prices and driver concerns with more expensive rides. Company leaders announcing that starting this Wednesday, you'll have to pay a fuel surcharge between 35 and 55 cents on each trip and each Uber Eats order, depending on location. According to Uber, the added fee will go directly to its workers. This is expected to last for at least another 60 days. The Golden Knights wrapping up a long road trip tomorrow in Winnipeg.
It has been a tough trip for the Knights. Sports director Chris Matthews in studio tonight with more on the historic fall by the Golden Knights. Chris?
Yeah, it really has been. This 4-game skid ties the longest losing streak in team history. Seems hard for fans to kind of stomach, considering this Knights side was built for a long playoff run, but they also lost 4 in a row earlier this season. The team has never lost 5 in a row, but that certainly is becoming a reality when Vegas wraps up its road trip in Winnipeg tomorrow night. The Knights are really struggling to score goals. Even counting Sunday's game where Vegas scored 4 goals, they have given up 16 goals over the last 4 games. Now in January, this side was leading the Western Conference. Now they're 21 points behind Colorado. At the beginning of the year, they were one of the favorites to win the Cup, but not anymore.
But I'm kind of hanging on to that thought, that philosophy of little adversity helps. And maybe this is the time to have it. But they're going to have to start turning it around shortly because they've gone from maybe around 5-1 to 6-1 to up to 12-1 now. So they're out of that top tier. I mean, they're right on the borderline of making the playoffs or not making the playoffs.
Put a little money down now, you might make some money here. Injuries are a huge part of this slide, though, but they're not all part of the injuries. Peter DeBoer saying he's making no excuses for those injuries, but they are missing 8 players whose salaries make up $37.1 million. So there's a lot of pieces missing here. There's only one other team more ravaged by injuries, and that's Montreal. Now, a reminder, at 6:45, we face off with Derek England. He'll be here to talk about this troubling trend. Denise.
All right, Chris, looking forward to it. Meantime, we are getting into the March Madness spirit by setting up our own pizza bracket. All right, so this is fun. We have compiled about 64 different pizza restaurants across the valley. You can sign up to vote. Then we're going to trim that list down from 64 to 32 to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, Final 4, and then to the ultimate champion of Las Vegas pizza. Just head to 8newsnow.com to sign up and start voting, and the brackets are open right now. Some tough competition in the category.
Oh yeah, and everyone loves their favorite pizza.
Yeah, everyone's got a really diehard favorite. All right, still ahead, the Henderson neighborhood seeing just a wave of mailbox break-ins.
We're going to hear from some of those victims and the steps they're taking due to this trend.
I want to see this pizza bracket. Tomorrow we're going to be more than 10 degrees warmer than today. Can you believe it? But how long will it last? The answer next. You're watching 8 News Now at 6. We are live, local, now.
The new 8 News Now app is here. Download 8 News Now right now. Tonight on 8 News Now.
In my almost 29 years of law enforcement, I've never seen this before.
Why police warn some calls for help could soon go unanswered.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Tonight, live at 11 on 8 News Now.
Biden's border crisis threatens Nevada communities. As governor, John Lee would stop illegal immigrants flooding into Nevada by supporting ending Biden's lawless catch-and-release program and returning to President Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. Fearless conservative John Lee for governor.
If you need great health coverage, here's good news. Molina Healthcare is now available here. Molina has 40 years of experience caring for people across the U.S. with access to quality care for moms, kids, and families. And Molina covers preventive and wellness services, office visits, prescription drugs, pediatric care, maternity and newborn care, and more. For details and to find out if you qualify, go to leanonmolina.com. Get the care you need. Lean on Molina.
With the most in-game options out there, the all-new Boyd Sports has the biggest betting menu in Vegas. Offering more sports with more props and more parlays, Boyd Sports is a game changer. So make every pass, pick, and move matter more on the app that never takes a play off. Get Boyd Sports and get the biggest betting menu, period.
Hey, Ted, Janice, what are you up to?
Taking pictures of the house. We're getting ready to sell it.
You should just sell it directly to Open Door.
Oh, hey, we got an offer already.
Sell your home the new-fashioned way. Open Door.
Las Vegas traffic driving you crazy? Wake up every morning with Nate Tannenbaum on Good Day Las Vegas. Traffic on 8 News Now is sponsored by Walker Furniture and Mattress.
Customers can expect when they walk in, they can expect a smile, a greeting, some of the simple things in life, which is great. There's a stigma within the industry that going to a car dealership isn't necessarily the funnest thing to do. We're out to change that. We're out to make that different. We're going to be forward with you, upfront and forward with you, and we're going to be able to answer the questions that you're asking. We're doing the right things for the right reasons, and we can do it successfully, and that's what we do.
Maintain the love with complimentary maintenance when you purchase or lease a new Subaru. SubaruLasVegas.com.
I'm Ryan Pineda with HomeRunOffer.com, and I want to buy your house. I'll make you an as-is cash offer on your house within 24 hours, whether it's a total fixer-upper or in perfect condition. HomeRunOffer.com is the easiest way to sell your house. When you sell your house to HomeRunOffer.com, there's no fees, no commissions, no banks, and no repairs. Just go to HomeRunOffer.com for a free, no-obligation cash offer 24 hours a day. That's HomeRunOffer.com.
The Valley's most accurate forecasts 8 years in a row. This is 8 News Now live at 6 with Denise Valdez, Brian Loftus, Ted Florendo, and Chris Matthews. 8 News Now live at 6. Live, local, now.
When was the last time you saw a Nevada State Police Highway Patrol trooper on the freeway? Well, it's no secret local police are having an issue filling jobs. Tonight at 11, only on 8 News Now, the 8 News Now I-Team explores how this issue is affecting your safety.
You don't have enough troopers out there being able to work those freeways, and anybody driving those freeways every day, have them just look and see if they see a trooper.
The number of troopers actually on our roads and the assignments they're being pulled from to cover other shifts. This is a special report you won't want to miss, live at 11. A Henderson neighborhood near Horizon Ridge Parkway in Gibson has been hit with mailbox break-ins. Homeowners trekking to the local post office now to pick up their daily mail.
Sally Jaramillo joining us now live with this ongoing battle. And Sally, how long have they been dealing with this?
Yeah, neighbors here tell me it's become an inconvenience and they have been dealing with this issue for more than 2 months. They are also surprised it happened in their gated community, a place they thought they were safe. John overall lives in this Henderson neighborhood. He tells me in the past, this problem would have been fixed right away, but for some reason, it is taking months. A sign on the mailboxes reads, "Out of service, please pick up your mailbox at Postal Service."
We have to drive to the post office, stand in line and pick up our mail.
And while it is about 5 minutes away, they must stand in a long line, ask for mail, then wait for them to locate their mail. Gregory Stanfield just wants to know why it's taking so long to fix.
I want somebody to come in there and do what they're supposed to do, change the lock so the Postal Service, the postman could start dropping our mail off again.
Neighbors add, when they went to the post office on Horizon Ridge Parkway near Stephanie Street, workers have said this neighborhood is not the only one having problems, as thieves across the valley are trying to steal tax return checks. Back out live, I reached out to the Postal Service, and in a statement they say, quote, "We're in the process of upgrading the security at the cluster box unit for enhanced protection. We expect the process to be completed within the next 7 to 10 days. For now, reporting live in Henderson, Sally Jaramillo, Live Local Now.
St. Patrick's Day is on Thursday, and in Chicago that means it's time to dye the river green. Look at this, the tradition began when a plumber, I didn't know this, a plumber suggested using a special dye that's normally used to detect building leaks. The river keeps its green color for about 1 to 3 days after St. Patrick's Day. Can't do that in Lake Mead though, and freak everybody out.
I mean, that's really bright green.
It's
like
and
neon.
I'm used to seeing that. Like every year they do that there. This is where Brian comes in handy to fills us in on that.
But Chicago stuff.
He's on vacay right now. But hey, a great day today too with temperatures. It felt real nice.
It was
really
beautiful.
nice. Yeah.
Did you guys, were you able to get out this morning, go for a little walk?
Listen, the dogs demand it.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
They've got a routine.
And you know what? They can do that tomorrow too.
Good.
This week there's some changes, but I still think we're not going to have a huge cool down. Wait till you see though what happens towards the end of the week though. That's coming up. Meanwhile, live look outside. This time our camera looking down at the Las Vegas Strip. This is our Mulaski corporate camera. Notice the winds are now lighter than earlier today. Skies have cleared up after clouds we had just a few hours back. 69 degrees our official high for the day today after 70s yesterday. We cooled things off just a little bit. 52 overnight for the low, still felt nice. 71's where we should be, so we were near average yesterday. Today just a couple digits below the record on the state. Of course, 89. That was set back in 2007. Tomorrow we're going to peak about more than 10 degrees warmer than that 69 degrees. So we're going to see some 80s tomorrow. 65 for Sky Canyon right now, and Centennial Hills, same for you. 69 for Spring Valley, 70 for North Las Vegas, 73 for Whitney Ranch, 71 Henderson, Inspirada included, 68 Anthem, and 68 for Mountains Edge, Rhodes Ranch, and and I should say Spanish Trails, 67 for Southern Highlands. If your neighborhood was not mentioned, don't worry, I got you covered. We'll always switch up our neighborhoods every weathercast. 67 Indian Springs, 83 Death Valley, 75 for Laughlin. You'll be near 90 degrees tomorrow at Death Valley as our temperatures shoot way up there. Satellite and radar composite, we want to show you the jet stream first. We still have this big ridge up and over us. That's why the temperatures are warmer. Going to be warmer tomorrow, but we'll watch those clouds and that system approach, and mainly to the north. That's going to be on that Wednesday, Thursday time frame. Look at this. So you'll see clouds tomorrow develop later on in the afternoon and evening, and then breezy winds Wednesday. Breezy winds to gusty winds on Thursday. That's St. Patrick's Day. Still staying dry, though. We get that little reprieve and a little break before the next one dives. And look at this. On Saturday, more wind. And then look at this. Chances for showers. Slight chance on Sunday, along with more wind as well. But it looks like our temperatures will drop with that one. We're going to show you that coming up. Wind forecast for tomorrow. We'll pick up those winds just a little bit around the region. Not too bad. Wednesday, like we said, will be those breezy winds returning to the region, and also on Thursday, too. Specifically, we think later on in the day. So a lot of you will be out of bound, unfortunately, and for St. Patrick's Day, we can have some wind around. 50 degrees overnight, clear and cool. Look for lighter winds tomorrow. 81 degrees warmer, light breezes. Look at this, our first 80s since November. Highs tomorrow, closer to 80 for a lot of you from Green Valley to Spring Valley. Look at that. 77 for Summerlin, 80 for North Las Vegas, 83 Green Valley. Outside of town will be 78 for Pahrump and 86 for Death Valley for tomorrow. Here's your 8-day forecast now. So 81 tomorrow. We cool things off. Even cooler for St. Patrick's Day. And then the weekend, oh yeah, there's those chances for showers. And happens to be on the first day of spring. which is
that kind of goes. That kind of goes with what do they say? That's April showers. Turn to May flowers.
Marching in like lion or something like that. So, something.
Got to brush up on our colloquialism.
Speaking of that Green River that you guys were talking about, we were at the NC2As with Lon Kruger in Chicago when it was green. That's when they went to the Sweet 16.
I remember that.
We saw that. And speaking of the madness, it happens
coming
this week.
up.
Lots of crazy stuff continuing. Next 3 weeks, we'll be crowning a champion, but 136 teams begin to navigate the road to the Final Four. A pair of Las Vegas lady sisters begin their quest on the same court, opposite sides, though. Saturday. More next here on Channel 8.
The 8-day forecast is sponsored by Michael E. Minden Diamond Jewelers, the wedding ring jeweler.
The time is now for 5 news that's straight to the point. Local stories that impact you. And your most accurate weather now. 8 News Now. Live. Local. Now.
It's time for a new shower, but you don't want the hassle. You just want it done. Rebath. From start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $450 off your tub or shower update.
When COVID first hit, there was a lot to worry about. My first priority was keeping my family safe, and I was very worried about making a living when no one was coming to Nevada. In times like that, you want someone looking out for you. That's what Catherine Cortez Masto did. She led the fight to protect Nevada and make sure we got the help we needed. Catherine did her job for Nevada, and that's something I won't forget.
I'm Catherine Cortez Masto, and I approve this message.
College basketball is now, and you should be betting with me, the STN Sports app.
More yourself and less cartoon-friendly Stephen Money.
All right, that's easy. Let's roll cameras here.
Okay.
What's up, freaks? It's your boy, Stephen Money. Did you dipsnish know that college basketball is right freaking now? Get that for your thick skulls. And you know what that means? It's time to get off your lazy ass and get on me, the STN Sports app.
Cut.
That felt pretty good, huh? Nailed that one.
So what are you waiting for? Download the app now.
Come see a Kia. Come see a Kia at Finley Kia.
At Finley Kia, we make leasing quick and easy. Take this beautiful 2022 Kia Soul LX. Lease it for $297 a month with $1,000 due at signing. That includes all this with no surprises. Now I ask you, how much time did you spend at that other dealership? Come see a Kia. Finley Kia, centrally located on Sahara, just west of Decatur.
Come see a Kia. Come see a Kia at Finley Kia.
Hi, my name is Sherry. I'm 76 and I live on the Oregon coast. My husband Sam, we've been married 53 years. We love to walk on the beach, have 2 daughters and then 2 granddaughters. I noticed that memories were not there like they were when I was much younger. Since taking Prevagen, my memory has gotten better, and it's like the puzzle pieces have all been put together.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
It's time to remodel your bathroom, but you don't want the hassle. You just want it done. Rebath. From start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $450 off your tub or shower update.
This portion of 8 News Now is sponsored by Demopolis Injury Law. Millions recovered monthly.
Well, the Lady Rebels are getting ready to do some dancing this week. First round of the NCAA tournament, and they take on the Arizona Wildcats. The ladies held their first practice today. Since learning they'll be navigating the madness, UNLV will take its dancing shoes to the McHale Center in Tucson. Boy, they amped up the noise at practice today to get ready for that crazy atmosphere. But other than that, boy, it is business as usual.
Practice doesn't change. I think that's the best part of, we're not changing anything that we've done all year. We don't play until Saturdays.
Yes, and on Saturday, the madness will be tempered a bit for a Las Vegas family. The Thomases have 2 shining siblings playing Division I hoops. And as John Treach tells us tonight, the Thomas sisters will be lining up in different uniforms and on different ends of the court.
It's March Madness for everyone, but in Las Vegas, it hits home. Jade and Samantha, UNLV in Arizona, a Thomas tournament.
People are like, the Thomas sisters again. I'm like, I know, but we didn't plan this. We just go work hard and be good people.
The 2 Centennial grads have excelled at everything except letting their parents relax.
We'll try to see if we can try to get to one and then get the other if it's possible, but
you know, it'd be nice if you guys would be in the same region. We didn't think play each other, but we thought in the same region.
Derek and Julie's House of Hoops, Bailey, Sam, Jade, and Shane, have played over 1,500 high school, AAU, and college games. On Saturday, for the first time ever, a Thomas faces a Thomas.
It's super weird. It's like if someone gets a steal, do you cheer for the team that stole the ball, or then are you sad for the team that turned it over? I feel like my natural reaction will come out when the game happens.
This is a mother of all matchups, unless you're mama.
You know, you're only as happy as your saddest child, so it's going to be the end of somebody's season, so it's going to hurt.
As for the not-so-little brother aspiring to play after high school,
see them playing against each other in a tournament, that like inspires me to, you know, work hard and get to the tournament. You know, I want to be there one day.
Imagine the biggest stage in college basketball, and hey, go guard your sister.
I was just so happy. I didn't want any other team besides them.
I'm looking forward to seeing my family all together, of course, and finally putting to use their UNLV half Arizona shirts that we got them for Christmas.
Unbreakable sisters, unprecedented family, a most memorable march. John Treach, live, Local Now.
Oh, thank you very much, Sean. Boy, that'd be hard. Hey, well, the madness begins for Las Vegas in about 3 days when Thursday rolls around and the sports books will be packed, much like the Super Bowl. The crowds will be huge, the bets will be placed, but don't expect to see many ladies hanging around the books. This isn't the Super Bowl then, right? March Madness is more like a frat party, an all-boys party with customers coming in from all over the country.
March Madness is more like a frat party. It's dominated by males. It's like 99% males. They're all like reunited, you know, old schoolmates, old work buddies. They all seem to be in packs of 3 or 6, and they really, really enjoy themselves.
Yeah, it's funny that Jay said, it makes me laugh because they're in packs of 3 or 6, like dogs out on the hunt. Who are we going to bet on? Who are we going to?
Yeah,
who do we like?
and they really, really enjoy themselves. I like it.
We'll take it.
Hey, Derek, coming up in 15 minutes. We're going to talk some hockey.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Yeah, okay.
Well, coming up as well in our next half hour, a Las Vegas school taking a new approach to learning. We'll tell you about the methods being used by the Girls Athletic Leadership School. You're watching 8 News Now at 6. We are live, Local Now.
This champion is a double threat. Great at Jeopardy, great at golf.
I made a hole-in-one.
Which begs the question.
Which is harder, Jeopardy or hole-in-one?
Find out next Jeopardy. Tonight at 7 on 8 News Now.
I have Parkinson's. 3 years ago, I urged Congress for help.
Prescription drugs do not work if you cannot afford them.
They didn't do anything. I was forced to sell my home to pay for my medicine. I shouldn't have to decide between my home or my medicine because Congress refuses to act.
Congress, Americans are struggling. Let Medicare negotiate lower drug prices. Act now.
When you're a member at America First Credit Union, there's only one goal that matters, and that's whichever one is important to you. So whatever help you need to get started, or how much guidance you need along the way, we'll be right alongside you until you reach it. Because the only goal that matters to us is yours, truly.
He served our country in the Army, spent 30 years in law enforcement, and was elected sheriff twice. Joe Lombardo has dedicated his life to defending our freedom. Service is in his DNA. When liberals tried to stop Lombardo from deporting dangerous criminals, he ignored the radical left and deported 10,000. Joe kept us safe. He's the conservative leader who'll get us back on track. Joe Lombardo for governor.
If you need great health coverage, here's good news. Molina Healthcare is now available here. Molina has 40 years of experience caring for people across the U.S. with access to quality care for moms, kids, and families. And Molina covers preventive and wellness services, office visits, prescription drugs, pediatric care, maternity and newborn care, and more. For details and to find out if you qualify, go to leanonmolina.com. Get the care you need. Lean on Molina.
With the most in-game options out there, the all-new Boyd Sports has the biggest betting menu in Vegas. Offering more sports with more props and more parlays, Boyd Sports is a game changer. So make every pass, pick, and move matter more on the app that never takes a play off. Hit Boyd Sports and get the biggest betting menu, period.
My son Josh and I are personal injury lawyers here in Nevada.
We've grown to be the largest and the best.
I'll work hard for you, and so will my son Josh. I mean, he's a chip off the old block.
Great block.
Great chip.
Call us at 444-4444.
This is an 8 News Now breaking news alert.
Breaking news here at 6:30 as yet another deadly crash happens on Valley roads. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Denise Valdez.
I'm Kirsten Joyce. This crash happening on Camino El Norte near Lone Mountain. This is in North Las Vegas. We have Victoria Saha joining us live with what happened. Victoria.
Yeah, this is a busy road, especially this time of night. Many drivers are having to turn around on Camino El Norte, and it's still closed near Lone Mountain. According to North Las Vegas police, a man was riding his motorcycle and crashed. He died after crashing into another vehicle. I was able to talk to the niece of the driver of the Lincoln SUV. She says her aunt, who is 77 years old, was pulling into the post office here. She then heard a loud boom, and then her airbags deployed. Witnesses helped her get out of the car, and once outside, she sees the motorcyclist on the ground. There were several people trying to extinguish the fire on the motorcycle and help the motorcyclist, but he died. That motorcyclist is believed to be in his 40s. That driver remained on scene. Her niece tells me she was taken to the hospital and was taken there to get the appropriate blood work done. We still do not know a cause for this crash. Victoria Saha, live, local, now.
Thank you, Victoria. Just prior to that crash in North Las Vegas, another deadly crash, this time on the west side of the valley at the intersection of Lake Mead Boulevard and Rampart Boulevard. 2 cars involved in this crash. One of the drivers was taken to the hospital where that driver later died. Denise.
Homicide investigation underway in a neighborhood near Pecos and Owens. According to Metro, officers were called to the area where they found a 20-year-old man with a gunshot wound. They believe he was meeting with somebody when the two apparently got into an argument, and that led to gunfire. The victim died at the hospital, but if you were in that area, perhaps you may know something. You can call Crime Stoppers. Right there, the number on your screen, 702-385-5555.
Metro is also investigating a shooting near downtown. It happened about noon today. Metro says officers were on patrol when they noticed a fight between 2 people. One of those individuals became aggressive and charged toward one officer with an item in his hand. The officer eventually fired, hitting the man. He and the officer were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Just seems to be getting worse. Gas prices continue to climb all across the country. The national average is hovering around $4.30 a gallon, but here in Nevada, it's nearly $5. We're also paying nearly about the same here in Clark County.
More than 900 missiles have fallen in Ukraine since the war began. Talks between Ukraine and Russia are expected to continue tomorrow. It seems that Russia is broadening its target as attacks continue in Kyiv and their key military base in Kharkiv. There are now concerns that Russia has gone to China as well for assistance.
Any such support from anywhere in the world would be of great concern to us. We will not allow any country to compensate Russia for its losses.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan met with top Chinese officials in Rome today, one day after warning China that it would face consequences should it help Russia.
Entertainment news tonight. Pearl Jam officially going to go back on tour after postponing during the pandemic. They have updated and they are now going to be rerouting. They're going to be coming to Las Vegas to the MGM Grand Garden on May 20th. Tickets are on sale right now through Ticketmaster. Also in entertainment news tonight, Las Vegas's largest reggae festival back for its 19th year. Reggae in the Desert will feature a lot of musical performance to showcase the unifying power of music. Now that festival is going to be on June 11th. That happens over at the Clark County Amphitheater. Spring break just about here for a lot of people, and Circus Circus is announcing that they're going to be reopening its Splash Zone. Now the Splash Zone features a couple of refreshing pools. There's a big pad, water cannons, spill buckets, rain trees, and of course the fan favorite is a 50-foot slide. The pool is going to open daily from 9 to 5. Kirsten?
Denise, a new music festival is coming to the city of Henderson. The Amazing Max, a popular children's magician, will host the Henderson Spring Forward Family Music Festival. Entertainers will be at Water Street Plaza. This is all family friendly, of course. The event will run from 10 in the morning to 5 p.m. on March 19th.
If we had the weather this weekend for all those events, it'd be perfect, right? Outside right now, not too bad. We've got clear skies after those clouds we had earlier. Let's get the specifics on our current conditions. 68 right now, very comfortable. 3 degrees cooler than yesterday at this time. And your winds staying light, cooperating nicely. At least for now. That's going to change as the week progresses. Clear skies tonight, we know that. So here's your evening plan. Let's walk you through tonight. The wind should stay nice and light, less than 10 miles per hour for that dog walk or going out for tonight. 62 degrees at 9 p.m. 8 News Now 11:58, so very comfortable for 8 News Now 11 too. We'll start off the morning at 50 degrees throughout many of our neighborhoods. Now coming up, we'll show you what to expect this week because the numbers go up, they go down, they go back up again. That's all coming up in your Weather Now forecast in just a couple of minutes. KG, over to you.
All right, thank you, Ted, for that good news. We now know the identity of the motorcyclist killed over the weekend. Police say the motorcyclist, now identified as Joshua Aquino, was killed after he collided with another vehicle pulling out of a driveway. This happened off Jones and Spring Mountain.
An update now on a murder-suicide that was discovered at an apartment on Fremont Street. Metro Police telling us evidence shows a man shot a woman who has now been identified as Jennifer Lopez and then turned the gun on himself. Metro says apparently the two of them were in a relationship, and they believe the shooting happened days before the bodies were discovered on Saturday.
Continuing with our crime news, a Las Vegas man is facing an involuntary manslaughter charge after a fatal shooting. Investigators identified the victim from the incident, 28-year-old Christopher John Campese of Las Vegas. He was shot in the head. 28-year-old Matthew Stafford remains behind bars facing the involuntary manslaughter charge.
25-year-old Lakeisha LaShawn Dawkins of Las Vegas was identified in a deadly shooting near Torrey Pines and Smoke Ranch. Dawkins died from gunshot wounds to the head and torso. The shooting was reported as a domestic dispute.
We do have a special guest with us in studio today. Chris Matthews facing off with Derek England. Yes, some positivity again, talking some Golden Knights hockey.
All right, not only will it be warmer this week, but more wind is on the way. We're going to show you when, all coming up in your most accurate forecast. Stick around.
This portion of 8 News Now is sponsored by Demopolis Injury Law. Millions recovered monthly.
At Relax the Back, our zero-gravity recliners put you in a neutral position. Your muscles relax, your spine decompresses, and you breathe better. Now save $500 and eliminate back pain, stress, and muscle tension.
Save today at Relax the Back, your Tempur-Pedic headquarters.
Biden's border crisis threatens Nevada communities. As governor, John Lee would stop illegal immigrants flooding into Nevada by supporting ending Biden's lawless catch-and-release program and returning to President Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. Fearless conservative, John Lee for governor.
Alex and Orlando de Castroverdi, third-generation lawyers and lifelong Nevadans, grew up in the law. They've built de Castroverdi Law Group Personal Injury on their family principles. When you've been injured, they'll fight the insurance companies, seek maximum compensation, and stand by you the entire way. Just like family. De Castroverdi Law Group Personal Injury. Our family will fight for yours.
It's Chevy Truck Month, and it's time to add the perfect accessories to your new Chevy. Make it bolder. Make it work harder. Make it your own. Find new possibilities. Find new roads. Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on this Silverado. New inventory is arriving weekly at your Southern Nevada Chevy dealers. Plus, now during Truck Month, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward the eligible purchase of a new Silverado with accessories.
To be the best accident lawyer in Las Vegas, it takes dedication to winning every case. Adam S. Kuttner & Associates was voted best accident lawyer in Las Vegas, and we'll fight to get you the best compensation. Call today, 382-0000.
Every day we help people injured in accidents. Do you need our help?
Golightly & Associates, 222-3333.
Abrams, 9 o'clock. Telling it like it is, now at a new time.
Here's where I'm coming from. Here's what I'm thinking.
Dan Abrams live at his new time, 9/8 Central. Weeknights on News Nation. News for all America. Russia invades Ukraine.
A News Nation exclusive now. A former KGB spy
he is describing Putin as a war criminal.
I know he will never give up.
Continuing coverage on Russia at war. Stay tuned to News Nation.
At Relax the Back, our zero-gravity recliners put you in a neutral position. Your muscles relax, your spine decompresses, and you breathe better. Now save $500 and eliminate back pain, stress, and muscle tension.
Save today at Relax the Back, your Tempur-Pedic headquarters.
Cheers to a brand new week of Wheel.
When he drinks, you speak in a British accent.
I've been known to speak in a British accent, and I don't even know it. My friends record me.
Do you know when I drink, I speak mostly in sign language.
Tonight at 7:30 on 8 News Now. This is an 8 News Now breaking news alert.
More breaking news right now. Yet another fatal crash in the valley this evening, this time on Summerlin Parkway eastbound. Highway Patrol saying the crash happened just east of Durango. For drivers to expect delays, avoid the area for several hours. We will have more on this on 8 News Now and 8newsnow.com as well. Denise.
Senators Jackie Rosen and Catherine Cortez Masto have secured $3 million to fund technology at the Metro Police Reality-Based Training Center. Now, this funding is designed to provide law enforcement with the nation's most sophisticated technical reality-based training. The construction of the new training villages are expected to cost about $25 million, and technology alone is an additional $10 million. Meantime, Governor Sisolak announcing his quarterly state salary donation of over $27,000 to the K through 12 public schools. Now, he's contributed over $295,000 since taking office back in 2019. You might recall Sisolak had promised to donate his entire taxpayer-funded salary in his term to impact Nevada public schools.
Clark County Sheriff Joe Lombardo has filed to run for Nevada governor. His running follows his massive $3.1 million fundraising haul. He outraised every other Republican candidate. And another Democratic challenger has entered the ring in the governor's race. Tom Collins officially filing for governor. He previously spent 4 sessions in the Nevada Assembly. He and Governor Sisolak, the only Democratic candidates that have officially filed so far. It is rare to have an incumbent have a challenger in their own party.
Well, a Las Vegas school going beyond academics, new methods of learning, all while empowering young girls to achieve their goals. That's coming up next here at 6 o'clock.
The 8-day forecast on 8 News Now is sponsored by the Southern Nevada Water Authority.
The Valley's most accurate forecasts 8 years in a row.
When your home feels clean and happy,
the people inside feel clean and happy too. Oh.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Any first item removed, just $49.
I have Parkinson's. 3 years ago, I urged Congress for help.
Prescription drugs do not work if you cannot afford them.
They didn't do anything. I was forced to sell my home to pay for my medicine. I shouldn't have to decide between my home or my medicine because Congress refuses to act.
Congress, Americans are struggling. Let Medicare negotiate lower drug prices. Act now.
Everyone wants to know how much a loan from Dollar Loan Center really costs, and it's way less than most people think. A $500 loan costs $2.75 per day in interest. So if you need it for a week, $19.25. That's it. No fee to apply, no penalty to pay early, nothing else. Critics want you to think you have to pay back 2, 3, 4 times what you borrow, and it's simply not true. Apply or find a location online at don'tbebroke.com.
What's up, freaks? It's your boy, Steven Money. Did you dips know that college basketball is right freaking now? Get that for your thick skulls. And you know what that means? It's time to get off your lazy ass and get on me, the STN Sports app.
Cut.
That felt pretty good, huh? Nailed that one.
We're gonna run this by the boss and see if we can even legally air that.
All right, buddy, you let me know.
Ooh, I hate working with cartoons.
So what are you waiting for? Download the app now.
When people visit Nevada, they like to eat. But when no one's visiting, all our jobs are at risk. I never thought that would happen, but then it did. And while things aren't all the way back yet, if it weren't for Catherine Cortez Masto, we would all be worse off. Catherine fought to get Nevada our fair share of COVID relief, and she also made sure we got the special attention we needed. We really needed somebody to speak up for us, and that's what Catherine Cortez Masto did.
I'm Catherine Cortez Masto, and I approve this message.
When your home feels clean and happy?
The people inside feel clean and happy too. Oh.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Any first item removed, just $49.
Face Off on 8 News Now is sponsored by Dollar Loan Center.
All right, time now to face off with Derek England.
The former Vegas defenseman joining Chris Matthews every Monday at this time.
That's right. Thank you. It's time to talk some hockey. The Knights, well, hopefully they're playing better, that we're not here just 6 weeks or so now. We got Derek in studio here, and hopefully we have you here into June and not just to the end of April when the season ends, because, boy, this team is struggling right now.
Yeah, they're having a tough road trip right now, going 0-4 on a trip that I think they expected a lot better. But, there's not going to be an easy game the rest of the way. Teams that are out of the playoffs or are battling to, maybe get into the playoffs still, are going to put their best foot forward every single night. So, and Vegas has been one of those elite teams that I think a little extra, they're like the stepping stone for a lot of teams. So they want to put their best foot forward and give them a good run.
From a player's perspective, what are you seeing? What's going on with this team right now?
Oh, they're obviously struggling to score goals before last night's game. But I like the Pittsburgh game a little bit more than the other two on this road trip. I thought they were going to the net with a little bit more authority. Carrier and those guys are scrumming it up a little bit and getting a little more engaged physically.
Well, when you think about this team, and this is the time with 21 games left, Derek, it seems like you want to be playing your best hockey. And it's so tight with that playoff race right now.
Yeah, it's right now. I was, looking over at it when I got here, and it's, it's almost the top 3 in each division. Then there's another 6 or 7 teams that are still, 5, 6, 7 points out. So, they need to start stringing some wins together, or else some other teams are going to start catching them.
Well, it seems like the Vegas Golden Knights have always made the big splash on the trade deadline. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, this year, I don't know. The last few years, it's been easy. Whatever they can do to make the team better. This year, with the injuries, I don't quite understand how the cap all works with all that. So this one's a little more going to be a little more interesting to see what they do.
Well, they have 8 players injured. When you add all that up, boy, that's a big deal with all these players that are sitting out and hurt. Injury Viz has a real interesting graphic where the Vegas Golden Knights are second most injured player in terms of personnel and the salary contract. So, boy, they got a lot of players that are hurt. Yeah, there's a ton of guys hurt right now. When me and Darren Millard were doing the game the other night, we kind of said that as much salary they got on the bench or on the IR and stuff, it's basically Arizona's salary cap right now without guys that aren't playing there. So it's crazy to see that there's, I think it was $38 million tied up on the injured. So it's that's never a good key for success there. That's right. You can see on average from that graphic right there, the 19.7 just on average game days, worth of talent they're missing. You mentioned overall 37 million. 8 players led by Stone, Pacioretty, Smith, and Leonard. But DeBoer says, hey, the injuries, we can't make excuses. No, it's they've been dealing with it all year. It's nothing new to them. The next guy up's got to come. They got to hold each other accountable. They got to go out. They just got to outwork the teams. Marchie said the other night that they got to get that work ethic back, and you're missing a lot of high-end skills, so you got to just come out and outwork teams. Well, Derek, we got about 20 seconds or so. They play Winnipeg tomorrow night. What do you expect the Jets to, because they're fighting also for a spot? Yeah, I see the Jets as seeing I think they're 4 points back of the Knights for the wild card spot, so they're going to come out ready to go. They got a couple ex guys on their team, so it's a little more special for them, and the Knights got to come out, and like I said, they just got to come out and outwork a team for a full 60 minutes. They've done in spurts here and there on this road trip, but not for the full 60. All right, we'll see what they do. You don't need to get in fights. You just need to be pretty tough, and we'll see what happens. Hey, picture perfect weather in Las Vegas right now, isn't it? This is postcard weather right here. Yeah. So let's send it over to our award-winning meteorologist. Here's Ted Florendo.
Look at that. Chris wrote that in prompter. Make me blush.
It is true. You've won awards.
That's right.
Most accurate 8 years in a row.
So be proud of that, Ted, and the weather team. And you always bring us good news.
I do.
We've had a lot of breaking, serious,
That's why you should put her over
depressing news, but you always bring us some good stuff.
We got some great weather this week. Great weather for you, Derek, this week. Because not only that, we've got a lot going on this week. We've got St. Patrick's Day, right?
Yes.
And we also have spring. all happening in the 8-day forecast. Can you believe it? All right, I want to show you not only that live look outside, but another flow fact for you. 81 degrees tomorrow would be our first 80-degree plus day of the year. And in fact, our first 80 degree officially since November. The record high, though, for Tuesday is 88 degrees. We love 8s. That was set in 2017. Unfortunately, we're not going to reach that 88 degree. And I should say fortunately, because we don't want those record numbers this early on. So yes, we'll be in the 80s, but at least away from record territory. We did have some breezy winds earlier today. That Boulder City and Reed areas did pick up the strongest wind gusts, but 24 miles per hour is not too bad. Just elevated winds. This is not any reason to have or issue any wind advisories. Henderson and North Las Vegas in the teens, though, for our gusts today. These winds are going to get stronger, though, by the time we get to midweek. Here are new neighborhoods to show you. First, we start off at the lakes at 66 degrees. That includes Spring Valley as well. Summerlin 63, 67 at Centennial Hills and Sky Canyon. 70 downtown in North Las Vegas. Green Valley 68 for you. 67 Southern Highlands. Got a lot of 8 News Now viewers down there. Henderson currently 69 and 73 at Nellis and Sunrise Manor. 72 for Prump right now, 70 Boulder City for you, and Death Valley coming in at 83 degrees. So here's our radar network. Nothing, zip here in the desert southwest. However, you see some rain there in Northern California. That's really pouring into the Pacific Northwest where they're getting snow in the Cascades, a lot of rainfall from Seattle to Portland. We'll get some clouds from this as it moves its way in. We'll see those clouds later in the day tomorrow. But what we're really going to see that we're watching this week are the winds to ramp up again, specifically Wednesday and Thursday. That is St. Patrick's Day, so we will have some gusty winds then. And then the next system dives in later on the weekend, and that's going to increase our winds more again. So we'll have gusty winds for Saturday and Sunday, and even some shower chances on Sunday. This is also the first day of spring, and then we'll have breezy winds left over also a week from today. Maybe you're going for that morning jog. I love this, right? Looking good for that morning jog. No big alerts or hazards to worry about, so that morning jog looks good. Same goes for midday and the afternoon. And as far as this evening goes, we'll have clear skies. Temperatures this evening going to be nice and mild in those 60s to low 60s. 8 News Now, 11:58 degrees. Look at all the clear skies tonight. Wind should stay light. Tomorrow, 81 degrees, warmer. Light breezes expected for tomorrow. That's 10 degrees above normal. And our first 80s, like we said, for the year. And look at that. St. Patrick's Day, low 70s, wind, and first day of spring, 60s and more wind. Kirsten, we'll send it over to you.
Thank you, Ted. There's a school in Las Vegas that's taking a new approach to learning. The Girls Athletic Leadership School, known as GALS, is focused on movement-based leadership. 8 News Now is a proud community partner, and as Heather Mills explains, it goes beyond just academics. It's helping young women reach their potential in spite of the obstacles they might face.
No boys. No distractions. Nothing.
Kobe's a 7th grader at GALS, the Girls Athletic Leadership School in Las Vegas. It's her first year, and she's already settled in.
Science, it's a lot of fun. You can do a lot of experiments. You can learn a lot. And it's also a little bit of a mix of like history in there, so I think that's really cool.
Girls today need to be empowered.
Science teacher Terry Proud says GALS is a game changer.
I wish they had something like this when I was going to school.
We have a milk and an apple.
Breaking the mold and creating a safe space where young women can thrive and excel both academically and personally.
Our goal is to train our young adults to be leaders.
They do that with small classes that focus on everything a traditional school offers.
I don't hear you. Okay, up in the air.
And other programs to allow these young women to grow through movement and leadership.
We do have a class here called GAL Series, which is that time for students to, listen to different stories.
And they love it.
Everybody's like smiling and all happy, so it just puts you in a good mood.
Students, once shy, now compelled to interact.
I always be greeting people when they first come in.
We have students that are really quiet and maybe not real confident in themselves. And it's amazing to watch that change. And it doesn't take very long.
And just like her name, Sunshine, she's beaming with excitement for her future.
And I'm about to follow my dreams. No matter if anything goes downhill, or no matter what obstacles come my way, I'm going to still achieve that dream.
It will make a difference in their lives and their education and allow them to be productive citizens in society and achieve academic success.
Heather Mills, live, local, now.
Great program. A popular band member getting a special artistic tribute. We'll show you a colorful reveal from England. Stay with us.
CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Biden's border crisis threatens Nevada communities. As governor, John Lee would stop illegal immigrants flooding into Nevada by supporting ending Biden's lawless catch-and-release program and returning to President Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. Fearless conservative, John Lee for governor.
I was an addict.
But it does not define me.
Or who we are.
I chose to get help.
And to live a better life.
Addiction does not define you. It does not choose who it affects. But with Landmark Recovery, you can choose to get help and live a better life.
I am Stacy Marsh for Jim Marsh Chrysler Jeep. We have been selling and servicing Chrysler and Jeep vehicles for decades. This CJ5 was the first car my dad bought me when I was in high school. When you are shopping for a new or used car or truck, please think of Jim Marsh Chrysler Jeep, where you are treated like family on West Centennial Parkway off Durango, under the American flag. And remember, if you don't drive here, you can't save here.
Grandpa was a lawyer in Cuba. Dad was one of the first Spanish-speaking lawyers in Nevada. Alex and Orlando grew up with justice in their blood, and they've built De Castro Verde Law Group Personal Injury on a legacy of fighting and winning for their clients. If you've been hurt, they will stand by you every step of the way, like family, because family would never let you settle for less than you deserve. De Castro Verde Law Group Personal Injury. Our family will fight for yours.
Come see a Kia. Come see a Kia at Finley Kia.
At Finley Kia, we make leasing quick and easy. Take this beautiful 2022 Kia Soul LX. Lease it for $297 a month with $1,000 due at signing. That includes all this with no surprises. Now I ask you, how much time did you spend at that other dealership? Come see a Kia. Finley Kia, centrally located on Sahara, just west of Decatur.
Come see a Kia. Come see a Kia at Finley Kia.
The new 8 News Now app is here. Download 8 News Now right now.
Hey, let me help you out with that. On net, on net, on net.
Thanks, John.
Good Day Las Vegas, helping you have a good day. Weekday starting at 4 on 8 News, 5 at 6:30. This is 8 News Now.
It's been a busy news day so far. Here's a look at what we're working on for tonight at 11 o'clock. Gas prices soaring, and now state leaders are calling for investigations into businesses they say are making unlawful price increases. Plus, what you should know about the next round of tickets for Life is Beautiful that go on sale this week. Those stories and much more tonight at 11.
For all the Beatles fans out there, the famous drummer Ringo Starr being honored in a mural. The mural stands in South Liverpool, in a town where Ringo grew up. Take a look at that. It features colorful cartoon images from the 1960s movie Yellow Submarine. And the artist responsible for this is John Colshaw.
When you see it from the sky, it is such like a magnet for that whole neighborhood. Look at that.
It's massive and it's so bright, which is perfect.
Yeah, incredible. Well, thanks so much for joining us here at 6:30.
We're always on 8newsnow.com. Join Denise at 11 tonight.
Eight News Now, live, local, now.
This one is for everyone leaving work.
I know a lady.